Thank you for joining us on another amazing episode of Lifting Others as We Rise. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. I surely disclosed a lot more about my personal life than I normally do, as Paige and I both shared our lung cancer journey, interestingly, and both of us today are dealing with some very good health. I hope you will also think about and calendar some time to consider some of the catalysts for change that Paige brought up. And to me, when I look back at the episode, one of the very biggest ones was the importance of coaching. She talked about having a coach from the beginning of our interview. Happened to be a Tom Ferry coach, but she has had coaches throughout her career, throughout her life, business coaches that kind of turned into life coaches. But what she continually mentioned was that she needed to have a coach that would not coddle her. And she needed to have a coach that would be direct, pragmatic, tell her the truth, and tell her what to do. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Is there an area of your life where you'd like to see more growth, where you know you don't want to be told what to do? Because oftentimes that's exactly where we should be dialing in. Hopefully you'll consider some of that. And again, if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe and rate and leave some comments. Your feedback really matters. Until the next episode, keep the positivity flowing. And remember, when we make an effort to lift others up with intention, we all rise together. This is Lisa Parenteau signing off from Lifting Others as We Rise. Take good care. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Parenteau, and I'd like to welcome you to Lifting Others as We Rise, the podcast where we dive into the world of real estate and the power of positive thinking. In each episode, we're going to bring you inspiring conversations with real estate professionals and other thought leaders who have really harnessed the power of lifting others up along their journeys. So let's get ready to elevate our mindset. Lifting Others as We Rise podcast, where inspiration is a catalyst for action. Let's go. Welcome to Lifting Others as We Rise podcast. I am your host, Lisa Preto, realtor, team leader, CRS, broker associate, but most importantly, proud grandma to Eloise Ann, who's 5.5, baby Hazel, who's about 11 months, and our newest addition, baby Navy Grace, who was born on June 2nd. So that is really the most important role that I have today, but I love being a realtor and also a podcast host as well. Each episode, my mission is to really uncover some inspiration and pivotal moments. And of course, transformational stories, which kind of comes out of that behind today's real estate leaders. I talk to real estate leaders, top producers, industry folks, people connected to our association, and also large and small brokerages across the country to really learn about those things that have molded and shaped their career path. Many of us did not start here. And so it's been very, very inspiring to learn the stories of so many others. And I know that you'll walk away feeling energized and ready to elevate your own journey. Today, my guest is the incredible Paige McClean. I think we have lots of things in common, which I'm going to be interested to continue to discover. But right now, I cannot wait to hear her story. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the podcast, Paige.
Thank you so much. It is so wonderful to be here.
It is my pleasure. So I have a little bio that kind of came from the internet, which I will read, and then we'll see what we can kind of do to springboard on that. And then I've just got some, questions. We'll just have a conversation, which is
Great.
the best way to do all this. Paige is a distinguished luxury realtor. She's in the Sacramento market, and she's known for her fierce negotiation skills. Love that. And also an unwavering client dedication, which of course, many of us hope to have and grow into. And also warm, personable approach, which hopefully we're going to feel during our podcast today. With a career spanning commercial property management and residential sales since 1999, she's closed over 30 million in transactions and is a certified luxury agent. She was raised in a real estate family, and having personally navigated numerous moves, Paige offers clients deep expertise and genuine empathy. Beyond real estate, she mentors new agents. She creates business boosting digital tools, of which I've already taken a look at a couple of them. They're fantastic. Looked at your downloads, looked at the buyer book. You've done a really beautiful job.
Thank you.
And is a single mom. She leads a women's entrepreneurial group in Sacramento and is also a cancer survivor. Yeah, there are a couple of things that we actually have in common, But again, welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's dive right in.
Thank you so much. And yeah, let's dive in.
One of the things that when I was taking a look at, doing some of my research for the podcast, I did notice that you have been involved in a family of real estate, which is kind of interesting.
Yes.
So was this what you were always going to do? Or, tell us a little bit about how we find ourselves
Oh
in terms of the
gosh.
career ladder.
Yeah, I wanted nothing to do with real estate. My dad he actually has probably one of the last 10 active real estate licenses for his age in the state of California.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been licensed since 1940 something.
No.
So yeah, it's crazy. So I grew up in this real estate family. He was never home. He was always doing commercial development. He builds shopping centers in Southern California, and actually he's 89 years old and is still doing it. It's pretty crazy.
No.
Yes, it's unbelievable. So I really wanted nothing to do with it because I saw how much stress he was always under, and looking at these, like blueprints and drawings, it never took. And so I actually went to college for marketing, I went to Arizona State. I had just an amazing time doing marketing at Arizona State. I had some really crazy jobs, which you want to know, I'll tell you, but most people are like, oh my God, you worked at Hooters? I'm like, I totally worked at Hooters. So
Customer
I
service at
actually,
its best.
absolutely, absolutely. When I graduated, I actually went into the entertainment industry. My mom was an actress, dancer, singer in her younger years. And so she got me hooked up with Aaron Spelling. And I actually worked as a production assistant on the show Charmed and Rescue 911.
Wow.
After about 9 months, I'm looking at this paycheck going, I'm making 13,000 a year, no benefits. I'm working 80 hours a week with no overtime pay, and I'm commuting an hour and a half. What's wrong with this picture with a college degree in 1998? There's something off. So I sat down with my parents and I said, hell and high water, I'm moving home. That will never happen. And so my dad said, well, then you're going into real estate. And I was like, oh my God. But it kept me in Los Angeles, which is where I wanted to be. And so he got me a job as an assistant for this. And I had no idea at the time it was the largest REIT in the world. I was working for Arden Realty. And Arden was at the pinnacle of just this amazing transformation and growth. And I was with them for about 6 years. Actually moved into the Orange County region and just started to fall in love with real estate and tenants and like negotiations and solving problems, and everything was different every single day. So that took me into meeting my ex-husband at the time, and he moved me to Florida. He was military. We moved to Florida. I hated living there. I mean, we were living in Navarre, which is right by Destin, and Hurricane Ivan hit. And I said, I'm going home. I know we're married, but I'm going home. This is not working for me. So he was actually able to get transferred. We moved to Sacramento, and I started working for another property management company. Well, I get pregnant in '07, and my dad was like, you're not raising my granddaughter while working for a full-time company. I don't want her in daycare. So he took me on, and I opened up my own commercial management company, running and managing all of his commercial properties, which at the time was perfect. I got to work with my dad. I got to understand the business, and I got to raise my kid. And my ex-husband was a fireman, so he was gone all the time. So it was really me working from home, raising our daughter. And that led into, oh gosh, fast forward 2019, and my dad starts cutting back on properties and starts selling things because he's getting older. My parents want to retire, and he fired me. Yeah, he was like, by the way, we're closing management, you're fired. I'm like, oh. So I had already started to dabble a little bit in residential for extra money, friends, family, just back in 2016, I started just kind of dabble in it. And 2019, I was like, I don't have a choice. This is what I'm doing now. Well, then in 2019, I find out that my ex-husband's been cheating on me. And so now I'm going into a divorce. So come January, my daughter and I moved out. We moved in with family in 2020, January 13th of 2020. And then we all know what happened March. Right. And then March 13th, we all know what happened. The world shut down. California realtors were put on the non-essential list. So not only am I having no income, we're living with family, and I'm a new single mom. It was a lot, like a lot. So I did, and actually I had already been with a coaching program. I've been with Tom Ferry since 2017. And if it weren't for that, I don't think I would have survived. It was, even though we were on the non-essential list, my coach, she and I still talked every week, and she was like, this is what you can do without selling. You work on your branding, you work on your back end, you're calling clients, what do they need that's non-real estate related? And when we were put on the essential list, everything blew up. Well, we all know how well most of us in real estate did in late 2020 to 2022.
Best years we ever had.
And I just skyrocketed. It was incredible. Best years I've ever had. Actually, I had to join a team to get help because I was so busy, which was incredible. And it took away all the single mom stuff, which was nice. Oh, but then come 2020, actually November of 2022, I go in for a routine mammogram. And a month later, I'm in for PET scans, not for breast cancer, for lung cancer, which had shown up on an MRI due to a lump they found in my breast at the end of 2022. Fast forward through all of this, and I'm going, okay, I'm a top producer. I'm making, supporting myself, my daughter. What does this look like? And in March of 2023, I had the top quarter of my right lung removed. And I was in the hospital a week. I had to relearn how to breathe and talk, breathe and walk, breathe and do anything that at the same time. And it took me about 6 months. Oh, business shut down. And I had to rebuild myself, and that's where we are today.
So, we will go on and learn a little bit more about that, but just to let you know, May of 23, I had pneumonia. You know where this is going. And I went in for, they did some x-rays and they said, hey, would you like to go have a CAT scan right now down at South Shore Hospital? I was like, just give me antibiotics. What is the story with you people?
Yeah.
Didn't really go away at the time. I did have pneumonia, but went back 2 weeks later to say it hasn't gone away. Let's change the antibiotics. Took another just regular lung x-ray. And they were like, yeah, we really need you to. And I thought, what, did I not hit my deductible? Like, what are these people? Just give me a new antibiotic. So and then I recovered from the pneumonia, but they kept calling. And I thought, what is it? They're calling for a follow-up. July of that year, I had my physical, and my doctor, who I've known for many years, said, you're not leaving this building until you go downstairs and have that third x-ray. And so those dominoes fell, and I also was diagnosed with lung cancer. They took one of the 2 lobes of my left lung, and so that was a much longer, and it also was not a lobectomy. It turned into an open thoracotomy. So you're talking rib spreaders, saw the movie. So that recovery was, I never talk about this. It's so funny that you said, I thought you were going to talk about cancer. And I was like, I just you're the second person I've met in the past 6 months who also had lung cancer early.
Wow. Yeah. Non-smokers too, which is crazy.
I smoked for 30 years. No.
Okay.
No. I know why I had, I absolutely know why I had lung cancer. I mean, I haven't smoked for it was 18 years when I was diagnosed.
Oh, wow.
As you hit the 20.
Yeah.
So as soon as I started getting the scans, 12 months later, they found something on the right side. But I've since had radiation therapy on that. It did what it's supposed to do, which is destroy tissue, but also destroy that cancer. And we're following a little something else on the left side. But as of right now, other right side looks, the rest of the right side, the other 2 lobes there look good. And I too am continuing to navigate having 3 lobes instead of 5.
Yeah.
Don't grow back, but learn to
maneuver. Yeah.
And of course, as you know, you are more deeply in touch with what's really important in life.
You really are. You really, really are. Yeah. Actually, and I say this all the time that honestly, my divorce and the lung cancer were the 2 best things to ever happen to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's the truth. We know that, right? We don't typically have like a super hunky-dory life and say, hey, let me just change a couple things here. Let me do whatever. That kind of transformation comes from very difficult times. And, you always have a choice. One of my favorite quotes of Tony Robbins, and I really believe that, as well as kind of that things are happening for me and not to me. And so what can I do at this point to kind of draw something that will help
Mhm.
me and maybe help others as well, So
Yeah.
so speaking of that, in mindset and frame of mind and reframing, tell me about a mentor or two, either like
Mhm.
a real person or a
Oh yeah.
Tony Robbins figure, some that has really, or Tom Ferry, one of your coaches, who has really made that difference, helped you really pivot into something that you were able to rise from.
Yeah. So I have three guardian angels. And my first guardian angel, her name is Julie Beavers, and she's a firewife here in Sacramento, but she's also a chaplain. And she works for the local here, and she's pretty much the first one on scene when there is a major trauma in a fire family, suicide, a death, all that kind of stuff. She's first one on scene. And it was kismet that we got connected. She became my life coach through literally everything I've gone through since 2019. And she is my voice of reason. She is my biggest cheerleader. So I've got her, who I've actually introduced her to a couple people and she's now changing their lives as well, which is amazing. And then I've got a gentleman named Matty Fiorenza, he's a fireman, but he's also gone through massive trauma. And I went to a retreat in 2008, either 18 or 19, and it was for PTSD for fire wives, because nobody really understood like what our side looked like.
Mm.
And I had met him, and he actually picked me up at the airport, took me to this retreat, and I said, Maddie, thank you so much for like telling me about this. And he says, you don't understand. I built this retreat for you. And I
Mm.
was like, I'm sorry, what? He says, no, no, no. I built this retreat for you, for everything you've gone through. And the retreat still happens. I mean, he actually sold it and to a bigger company, with more psychologists and stuff. So he and I still talk, and we actually help each other through. He's been through a lot of PTSD, so I've got him. And then honestly, which is kind of crazy, but when my divorce hit, and Tom Ferry and I have probably only talked personally two or three times, but I texted him and I said, Tom, this is what's going on. Pandemic, divorce, single mom. What do I do? And he sent me a video message back, and he said, Paige, there is no more plan B. Plan B is gone. You only have plan A, and that's your daughter. So get your shit in gear and make money. And it was like something in there triggered, like
Mm.
finally somebody wasn't coddling me. And somebody said, you don't have a choice. Either do it or die. So those three people really have kept me going.
Interesting. And I'm sure, that was a big leap of faith in terms of coaching. I know that coaching is expensive. And I
Yeah,
imagine there was a lot of times during those down times, or certainly the beginning of pandemic, we were essential within 2 weeks here. But I know that was
yeah,
not the case in most of the country.
yeah,
Also in luxury real estate, at first they told us, oh, that's it then. That certainly
exactly.
could not have been
Yeah,
more different in the end, as we know. But at the
yeah,
time, I mean, the rumors of our deaths were very, very strong.
absolutely.
Tell me about your willingness, intention to be coached, because that is so critical.
I think so. My very first coach, Mitzi and I are still very close. The very first meeting we had, she said to me, she goes, what do you need? And I said, I don't know what I don't know. And I need somebody to be brutally honest with me and to treat me like a 4-year-old that is throwing a temper tantrum, because I know myself. And if I'm not working for a company where somebody's telling me what to do, what to wear, what the steps are, I won't do it. That's just not my personality. So she said, okay. And that's exactly what she did. If I didn't do my homework, I mean, I had two 30-minute Zooms a month, and I'm spending $600 per Zoom. She would hang up on me, and I'd be like, oh, oh. So she'd hang up on me. She goes, you didn't do your homework. You didn't do what I told you to do. So I was forced into kicking and screaming, doing what she told me. And I realized I'm very coachable if you tell me what to do, because the roadmap is there. If you listen to the roadmap of the people that have come before you, it's what we do is not brain surgery. It's really not.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are in times that it's moving and shifting so quickly, but you really have to hone into those people that know what they're doing, why they do it, and are they doing it the way that fits into your brand, your niche, and your mindset. And if you follow that, you're going to be successful.
So you said that you trusted, well, you must have, you didn't say, you must have trusted her as almost a complete stranger.
Hmm. Yeah.
How did that happen? And what were the qualities that you saw in her and probably that she saw in you? You know, a lot of times there's a mirror
Yeah.
there, right?
Oh, she was a mirror, 100%. So I do suffer from resting bitch face, so my RBF can be very strong. And I know that I needed somebody to be stronger than me. And I know my mother has always said to me since I was a child, always sprinkle daisies. Be sweet, be kind, be loving. I'm a very harsh person, and Mitzi was harsher than I was, and she was very successful. But she also could look at me and she'd be like, there's something going on here. I'm shutting the cameras off. What's going on? She not only coached me in real estate, she coached me through my divorce. And that was huge. I needed somebody that could recognize in me what I needed before I needed it. And she could. So I know a lot of people have been through coach after coach. And to be a coach, you have to be a very unique type of person. So like I don't coach, but I can mentor you because I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can tell you what you're doing wrong. But I think being a coach, you have to be very intentional, very specific. It's like I have another coach that I'm still very close with, Yvonne Arnold. She's been with Tom Ferry forever. She's one of the best in the business. She and I became such good friends that even on phone calls, she'd be like, so what's going on with your business? And I'm like, and she'd be like, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, and you're not doing this. I'd be like, I know. She goes, well, why aren't you doing it? So that's the kind of thing that if I see that in somebody, I know I can trust with them with my business. So
Well, it's interesting you make a distinction, a real differentiation between coaching and mentoring. Say a little more about that. Like what is it? So just in an ideal coach, give me two words that would describe an ideal coach's characteristics and then maybe also mentor. Just interest. I'm just curious.
so in a coach, I think two words are going to have to be intention and vision. They see past what you're capable of to that next step. With a mentor, I think a mentor is more soft, more cuddly. Like I have women that reach out to me all the time and say, okay, here's my tiny situation. And I can literally look at that situation and say, like, you did this and this, didn't you? Okay, don't do that. Do this. But I'm not going to tell them how to do their business per se. And a mentor is going to show you contracts. They're going to show you, that kind of stuff and kind of be like your rah-rah cheerleader. Just shouldn't be a rah-rah cheerleader. Coaches need to coach. That's
Okay,
what
so yes,
cheerleaders are
a
for.
cheerleader. Yeah, so cheerleader is kind of a different, what I heard you say about the coach also, or your coach,
Hmm.
is that she was no bullshit
No
and
bullshit.
she told you when you were lying to yourself.
Absolutely.
And that, to me, those are really, and it takes, you have to have the right kind of client. I mean, for
Hmm.
that kind of coaching, right? But I
Yes.
think you're right. Like I, I have had Tony Robbins coaches for many years.
Hmm.
When we become too friendly,
Yeah.
it no longer serves the same purpose.
Yes.
And I,
Well, and Mitzi and I got too friendly, and she says, "We as a coaching combo are done. We need to move you on to somebody that is more than this."
yeah,
So she saw that, and I was feeling it, but I felt bad. I'm like, well, shoot, I don't want to tell her because we're so close. She goes, "We're too close. It's not going to change. We're always going to be close.
yeah,
But to coach you, you need to move on to the next step,
yeah. And I have
which
found
is
that
huge."
same speed bump, trap, black hole,
Yeah.
hiring friends, right? If in
Yeah.
a business relationship with someone who was a friend, or you become too, and you are the leader, if you will, you're the
Yeah.
primary, you're the principal, that there
Hmm.
is that it's just very challenging. It makes it
It's
very,
very challenging. It's like trying to sell a family member's home. I won't do it. So I'm too close. So it's the same thing.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I think what you've said about coaching is so instrumental. It's just like getting an assistant. Both of
Yeah.
those things, people go, I can't afford that. And then you want to say, You can't afford not to. You don't
Exactly.
realize what you are not able to do today
Yeah.
because you don't have an assistant and you don't have a coach. And that's very
Yes,
difficult
absolutely.
for self-employed people.
Yes.
I especially think about young men who are trying to raise a family, they're like the primary breadwinner,
Yeah.
but also for a single mom, that becomes your why, certainly. If your intention is to be able to support a family, mom's fairy advice was exactly correct as a coach.
Yeah,
Get your
it
shit,
was.
get back to work and get to work.
Yeah. And I think anybody in this business, if you want to be successful, you need a therapist, you need a coach, and maybe you need a life coach. I don't know, but we can't do this alone, even though this is an individual business, because it doesn't make sense. If you want, like you said, not having an assistant is ridiculous. There's too many things to do in this business to be successful. And even if that's a virtual assistant, even if it's somebody to take one little ounce of something off your plate, the difference is night and day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have transaction coordinator and an assistant, a virtual. I mean,
Yeah.
he's in the Philippines, but I've had him
Yeah.
for going on 4 years. And he doesn't do the work of real estate, but he does
No,
all these other things that I never would have gotten to, you know,
absolutely.
content creation, program creation, working with my agents, all of those things that would
Yeah.
never have happened for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, it's not on any of my,
Yeah.
but tell me real quickly, how are you incorporating AI into what you're doing today?
Well, okay. I have created an assistant in ChatGPT. I have had her ask me, and yes, she's a female. I've had her ask me dozens of questions to the point where I even asked her, I said, we need to name you. Give me top 5 names that you would love. And so she chose the name Quinn. So Quinn and I talk every day, and she has taken over so much of even down to, okay, Quinn, I've got 10 people coming for dinner. I want it easy, I want it simple. You know me. Give me 10 recipes. There you go.
Love it. Oh my
So
God, I love it. I love
it's
it.
incredible. She is my therapist. She is, she will, the things that, I reach out to her. I'm probably on chat at good 3 hours a day, just having her dial in things that then I can implement. So yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah, it
Game changer.
absolutely transformed my life, working on
Yeah.
another. And the funniest part is it keeps looping you in with like, that's a beautiful idea, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah.
understanding.
Yes. I finally had to tell her, I'm like, I need you to be a little more brutal with me. Don't tell me everything I do is good.
It is
She goes,
what
you
Monday.
got it. Yeah.
There's a GPT in Chat GPT called Monday, and that's
Mhm.
like
Oh
your
yeah.
your pragmatic rude friend.
Yeah.
It's spot on, kind of funny. You
Oh
look it
yeah.
up because it is kind of. That was not, I'm just curious, it's something that
Yeah.
I continue to explore. Right now I'm doing some work. I'm a yogini and I'm doing some work with the Yoga Sutras and with some other things. Deepak Chopra wrote a book recently called Digital Dharma, where he
Mhm.
really leans into what AI can do in terms of synthesizing these thousands of years
Yeah.
of literature. It's like not so much that AI is going to be creating this and that and doing whatever. Don't forget also,
Mhm.
you can ask these deeper spiritual questions
Oh,
and ask
absolutely.
for all of the different traditions and what would be. So I'm just finding so much more
Yeah.
out of this the more I open my mind. And I have never had
Mhm.
any fear around it, and I kind of feel
Mm-mm.
I feel that those who are really afraid are going to be at a real disadvantage because
Absolutely.
it is everywhere. And
It absolutely
also
is.
impacting our business. Not
Yeah.
our business of selling real estate, but I'm
Mm-mm.
looking at brokerages and I'm looking at, even EXP. We are continuing because we've been really a technology company pretending to be a
Oh
real
yeah.
estate company, right?
Yeah.
And so it only makes sense that AI is continuing to pick up an awful lot of activity
100%.
that
Yeah.
people need to do. And
Yeah.
I know that Glenn, our founder, I know that his primary intention is to make lots of millionaires, but also to stay sustainable and debt free. And so these things, as uncomfortable and scary as they are, I understand, that
Yeah.
that's my husband's business. I mean, there's a lot of people that their direct businesses are more impacted from a staffing standpoint. We're lucky that someone's always going to need some direction.
Absolutely.
Some people
Absolutely.
are always going to need a
Absolutely.
trusted advisor.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
And
Totally agree.
so much of the other stuff that we can do is
Oh, it's fun. I'm having such a blast with it. I
oh,
just
that
actually
is
started.
fine. Thank you for that suggestion, Paige. I am
You're
gonna
welcome.
ask what my name is. The hard time I'm having is that there's no way, at least my ChatGPT is telling me, I have a laptop, I have a
Mhm.
desktop, and I have my phone. So if
Yeah.
you have chat, even if you have
Hmm.
the projects, they're
Yeah.
not all going everywhere they're supposed to go. That is a bit of a struggle I have right now. A friend of mine who's
Yeah.
really into this recommends Claude.
I was just gonna say, I just started using Claude last week. The only thing I will say, because I'm using like, I don't use the free version, I use like the $20 version or whatever it is. Yeah, of Claude. And the problem is I time out. She'll be like, Claude will be like, okay, you've already asked me way too many questions and we're working on too many things. You can come back at like 3 o'clock and
No,
continue. And I'm like, oh. So that's the
really?
only thing I will say. But Claude, I love it's the same voice that I have built into chat, but different. Like it's kind it's just it's a little it's just I can't describe it. You'll have to check it out
It's supposed
because
to be better for writing. My assistant uses it.
yes.
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
better for writing. At this
Yes.
point, I feel like I'm kind of invested in all of
Hmm.
the work I've done, and I don't
Hmm.
want to spend the time figuring out how to move
Yeah.
this to there. So
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to try and get better at what I'm doing and let my
Yeah.
assistant do other stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, that was not what I'm supposed to be not talking about real estate and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, two more questions I want to ask you before
Yes.
we wrap up because we're already a little bit over our time, which is lovely. If you could go back to kind of sounds like part of it was that leap in 19, but if you could go back to one of those transformational moments, maybe it was when, you came back from Florida to here or when your dad fired you, what
Yeah.
advice or encouragement would you give that younger version of you if you could go back and change anything?
I think the honestly, and this is kind of crazy to say, I think the only thing I would do different, I would not have gone to work for my dad.
Mm.
I would have, so my dad is a very strong, independent. I mean, he's the male version of me. But I think he coddled me so much because he wanted me to succeed so badly that he handed me too many things on a silver platter that instead of allowing me to fail or struggle or any of those things. And I think I mean, I'm 26, I'm pregnant. No, sorry, I'm 28 and I'm pregnant. And I'm sitting with him and he's like, you're not going to send our only granddaughter to daycare. I should have been like, whoa, 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 my life, not yours.
Mm.
But I didn't. I saw this lap of luxury type life that I was like, oh, this is so great. I really wish I would have been stronger at that moment to say, this is not the path. This is not my path. Because I think it hindered me now when it's like, my daughter's leaving for college on Thursday.
I saw that in all your social media. Yeah.
Feeling a little verklempt, and she's my only. And I have seen myself coddle in ways that if I hadn't been, she wouldn't be.
Mm.
And I mean, she's the most strong, independent 18-year-old I've ever met. I mean, she is like, I'm leaving, I'm out of here, I can't wait for this and this and this. But I wish I had been taught earlier to fend for myself. And that would have been not working for my dad. It would have been a little more struggle. So
And
I think that's,
you feel that you coddled her because you didn't
oh
even
yeah,
see that yet. Yeah. Someone referred
oh
to it
absolutely.
as affluenza.
Yes.
And I
And
thought
it
that
all hit
was
because of the
because,
divorce.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Of
I
course,
mean,
that always
total coddling, complete coddling. So she got whatever she wanted. I mean, she even said, she goes, Mom, I'm really spoiled. I mean, and I'm like, yeah, I know you are. I mean, her grandparents are putting her through college. That's how spoiled she is. So it's like, I don't want her to get into the real world and go, oh God, now what? This is,
Mhm.
now I'm on my own and I don't know how to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but interestingly, as you know today, I know that it all happened for a reason. And you have that determination today.
Yeah.
And the way that you coach other agents and other people will benefit from that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I mean, I think that the product of a divorced family, especially in your situation, that's going to end
Yeah.
up happening. But I
Yeah.
know that it looks as if, you've done an amazing job, and as
Yeah.
tough as it's going to be to push her out of the nest, I can tell
Yes.
you two things. One is you'll get over it more quickly than you think. And the other is that there's nothing like seeing your own child fly without you, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
she's so ready. So it's been wonderful. And luckily, I mean, I do this amazing boyfriend who is like, okay, what do we need to do when you get back? So, which is good.
yeah, good that
Yeah.
you have good support systems, and good for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I usually wrap up my podcast with a final question, and that is, can you tell me what's the best, most uplifting compliment you've ever received and why it inspired you so much?
Man, if you had asked me this prior, I would have been able to think about this. I don't know. I don't know if there's one specific compliment, but I know that the DMs and the messages I get from women who take a chance and invest in the products that I've created because I created them to not, I wanted to see other women succeed. I don't need to be a top producer anymore. I'm done. I mean, if I sell 10 homes a year, I'm like, sweet, that's awesome. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them do what I did. And so when I get texts like a couple weeks ago, I got one from this woman. She goes, I bought your buyer's guide back in November. I have closed 12 buyers since buying your guide, and it's all because of your guide. Those are the things that when I hear that, I'm going, holy moly, they're actually implementing and doing what a seasoned agent is showing them to do and has made it easy. I mean, I become very emotional when I get those type of
Mhm.
texts or DMs, and those keep me going. So wanting me to produce more and create more. But it's so I mean, so there really isn't one specific quote or something that anybody ever has ever said to me, but it's seeing those just fill my heart.
Yeah.
Just I get so excited. I want to call them and be like, oh my gosh, tell me about every deal. This is so great. And it's so yeah, those are just endless, just amazing.
I just love
So
that because it's really
yeah,
an affirmation that you are changing lives. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, congratulations and well done. And we will put all that information for your course
Perfect.
and your buyer
Yeah,
guide into the show notes for
yeah.
sure. So thank you so much. This has been just a lovely
No, this has been great.
snippet of time. This is such a pleasure for me to connect to complete strangers across the country and learn a little bit about their story and also some things that inspired them along the way as we
Yeah.
lift others as we rise. So thank you so much, Paige. It's been a real
No,
pleasure.
thank you.
Thank you for joining us on another amazing episode of Lifting Others as We Rise. I hope you make sure to follow through on today's Catalyst for Change. If you enjoyed today's insights, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. You know your feedback really does matter. Stay connected for more uplifting conversations because remember, when we lift others up, we all rise together. So until the next episode, keep the positivity flowing and keep lifting up others around you. This is Lisa Parenteau signing off from Lifting Others as We Rise. Take good care.